What if the Earth stopped spinning for 5 seconds? Hold tight. If the Earth suddenly stopped rotating for just 5 seconds, the consequences would be catastrophic. Winds reaching speeds of 1670 km/h will rip across the equator, destroying everything in their path, while slightly weaker but still devastating winds will hit the regions other in the world. Huge tsunamis will form as water rushes from the equator to the poles and then back as the rotation continues. The devastation would leave the Earth's surface in ruins and make it uninhabitable. What would happen if this scenario could happen? Come explore with us. The Earth completes a full rotation on its axis every 24 hours, a motion that gifts us the regular cycle of day and night. This rotation began 4.6 billion years ago, initiated by the collisions and accumulations of dust and rock in the primordial solar system. As a massive disk of gas and dust swirled around the young sun, these particles coalesced, generating the angular momentum that has kept our planet spinning ever since. Similar to a figure skater pulling in their arms to spin faster, the Earth's rotation has been perpetuated with almost no friction to slow it down in the vacuum of space. This rotational momentum is expected to continue for billions of years, barring any extraordinary interstellar events. But let's entertain the unimaginable. What if the Earth suddenly stopped spinning for just 5 seconds? The consequences of such an event would be nothing short of catastrophic, a testament to the forces that govern our planetary dynamics. The initial impact. If the Earth were to abruptly halt, the atmosphere, oceans, and everything not anchored to the bedrock would remain in motion. This inertia means that while the surface of the Earth stops, the air continues to move at the same velocity the planet was rotating. At the equator, where rotational velocity is approximately 1,670 kilometers per hour, km/h, this would manifest as winds of unprecedented speed. To put this in perspective, the strongest hurricanes have wind speeds of around 300 km/h. These equatorial winds would be over 5 times stronger, powerful enough to obliterate everything in their path. The force of these winds would be sufficient to uproot trees, destroy buildings, and strip the topsoil from the ground. Imagine being caught in such a storm. Any object not firmly secured would be turned into a deadly projectile. Vehicles, houses, and even the Earth's crust would be torn apart by these colossal winds. The destruction would be total and immediate, leaving no refuge in sight. Global devastation. Further from the equator, in regions like New Zealand or France, the rotational speed decreases, resulting in slightly less intense, but still devastating winds, around 1180 km/h. These wind speeds, although lower than at the equator, would still be several times stronger than any storm in recorded history. Buildings, bridges, and infrastructure would be reduced to rubble, and the loss of life would be unimaginable. The entire planet would experience violent atmospheric turmoil. Geophysical transformations. Our planet is not a perfect sphere. It bulges at the equator due to the centrifugal forces generated by its rotation. This equatorial bulge is the result of the Earth spinning, causing the equator to be about 43 kilometers wider than the poles. If the Earth's rotation ceased, the planet would quickly reshape into a more perfect sphere. The water currently held at the equator by centrifugal force would begin to flow towards the poles, causing a dramatic redistribution of the Earth's oceans. This redistribution would trigger massive tsunamis as the ocean water moved to fill the newly created voids. Coastal cities would be the first to feel the impact, inundated by waves that could reach unprecedented heights. As the planet resumed its rotation 5 seconds later, the water would be forced back towards the equator, creating a second wave of tsunamis. This back-and-forth movement of vast quantities of water would result in a double wave of destruction, wiping out anything that survived the initial winds. Long-term consequences. Even after the Earth resumed its normal rotation, the planet would be irrevocably changed. The combined effects of the atmospheric upheaval and the tsunamis would leave the surface unrecognizable. Cities would be razed, landscapes altered, and ecosystems destroyed. The Earth's crust itself could be cracked and shifted by the immense forces at play, leading to volcanic activity and earthquakes in the aftermath. The sudden halt and restart of the Earth's rotation would also have profound effects on the planet's tectonic stability. The abrupt redistribution of mass could trigger a series of seismic events around the globe, further adding to the chaos and destruction. The impact on human infrastructure would be devastating, with buildings, bridges, and roads rendered unusable, and the death toll would be staggering. Survival and recovery. In the wake of such an apocalyptic event, the survival of humanity would hang in the balance. The immediate loss of life would be immense, with billions potentially perishing in the initial onslaught of wind and water. Those who managed to survive would face a world devoid of infrastructure, with food and water supplies severely compromised. The social and economic structures that support modern civilization would collapse, and humanity would be thrust into a new dark age. In this new world, survival would depend on the ability to find shelter and resources. Underground bunkers, if they managed to withstand the initial impacts, could provide refuge. However, the challenges of securing food, water, and medical supplies would be immense. Rebuilding society would take generations, and the memory of the day the Earth stood still would be etched into the collective consciousness of humanity. A silver lining. While this scenario is purely hypothetical, it underscores the fragility of our planet and the delicate balance that sustains life. It also highlights the importance of understanding the forces that govern our world and the potential consequences of even the slightest disruption. The Earth's rotation is a fundamental aspect of its existence, shaping everything from the cycle of day and night to the distribution of the oceans and the atmosphere. The idea of the planet suddenly stopping its spin may seem far-fetched, but it serves as a reminder of the dynamic nature of our world and the cosmic forces at play. Fortunately, such an event is not expected to occur. The Earth's rotation is stable, and barring any extraordinary interstellar events, it will continue to spin for billions of years. Our sun, too, will continue to shine, providing the energy that sustains life on Earth. Eventually, the sun will exhaust its fuel and expand into a red giant. But that is a story for another time. In the end, the thought experiment of the Earth stopping its spin for 5 seconds is a fascinating glimpse into the power and complexity of our planet. It reminds us of the incredible forces that shaped our world and the delicate balance that allows life to thrive. While we may never face such an apocalyptic scenario, the exercise of imagining it helps us appreciate the stability and resilience of the planet we call home. That's all the information that we have for you today. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss out on future episodes. And be sure to also tell us what you think about today's content. Everyone's support motivates us to continue delivering quality content and to always improve. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.